name is Stevy Acevedo and welcome back to another episode of the Curator's Corner. So today, in connection to the Arcadia Women's Club collection that we talked about in our previous video, we are going to be learning about curation again, specifically on one of the Arcadia Women's Club scrapbooks. So today, this is going to be really exciting to show you guys, which you can also do at home if you have any scrapbooks that you would like to conserve for future family members to enjoy. So with the scrapbook that we have here, it is number 317 out of all of the other items that are part of that Arcadia Women's Club collection. So this scrapbook is from 1958 to 1959, which shares the history of the Arcadia Women's Club during that period of time. And so as I open it, don't be scared. I am a professional. The lid, or the cover you may say, is no longer attached. And that's because, you know, wear and tear over time, that does happen to things, just like maybe an old book you might have at home. So on the front cover that we have here for this scrapbook in particular, you can see that it says 1958 to 59, and it's the Arcadia Women's Club information of previous members or current members, their phone numbers, and there's even a section that highlights the Junior Women's Club, which was established in 1937, which allowed for women who were between the ages of 18 and 35 to join before they transitioned over to the Arcadia Women's Club. So you can see that this little book shares a lot of information, and for that reason was included in the scrapbook. So as we move along in the scrapbook, you can see that lots of things were added to it, such as maybe some little cards. You might do that in your own scrapbooks today. We have also some areas where we have newspaper clippings, and you might notice that this page is blank. And so sometimes when items fall out because, you know, adhesive like glue no longer attaches to the paper, it falls out. And to preserve that, what we do here at the museum is that we put it in an acid-free file folder. And within the file folder, we keep those items. So for this instance, we have a photograph of the Arcadia Women's Club members. So instead of it potentially getting damaged while it's in the scrapbook, just loosely in there, we preserve it by putting it in the scrapbook, in a manila folder. So as we continue on, you can see that we also have these things that we call buffer paper. And buffer paper lets us have items that we do not want to touch within the scrapbook, for example, because they might be a different type of material, so on and so forth. So here we have some brochures from a trip that the Arcadia Women's Club had in Hawaii. So you can see that there's like little metal brackets to it that are holding it, and also the material that might be on the actual pamphlets might be different from what's on this other page. And here we have on this page a letter and some typed up information about the tour to Hawaii that the Arcadia Women's Club had. So you can see, to preserve these two things, we put that buffer paper there. And so even as we continue on through our scrapbook, you can see we have more buffer paper in between those things, more newspaper clippings, and also a wonderful picture of the Arcadia Women's Club traveling to Hawaii on the airplane. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii right now, right? Am I right? We'll see how many trips we make. And so as we go through, once again, we just have more cards, so on and so forth, protecting them each with some buffer paper in between. And so once we have all this all preserved, and you might notice that I have been wearing my white cotton gloves like we mentioned last time in the curation video. We wear them because we want to preserve and protect our items. So now our next step is to put it in an acid-free box. So now we have our acid-free box with our acid-free tissue paper ready to put our wonderful scrapbook from 1958 to 1959 from the Arcadia Women's Club inside the box. And one thing that we do include also within our box is something known as silica gel packets. You might have seen them before when you buy shoes or purses or even clothes online. You might see these little packets sometimes in there. And what's really amazing about these silica packets is that they let your items stay safe and dry. So that kind of helps with the climate and how you want to preserve your item. Silica gel packets are also good for pests. In meaning of pests, we talk about bugs. So we don't want bugs. So number one arch nemesis here in the museum field is silverfish. And silverfish are these little bugs that like to eat anything and everything, including paper. And what do we have here in our scrapbook? Paper. So we put one of these little silica gel packets to prevent this from happening. And then, sorry for the noise, we close up our tissue paper here within our box with our scrapbooks safe and sound. And what we do here as well, if there's no marking on the lid that states what is inside the box, because we are barely curating it today, we do put it on the object as well. So not directly on the object, but in this instance, we have it on the tissue paper. So you can see that we have T 2014.317 because we said that the item was number 317 in our Arcadia Women's Club collection. And the 2014 stands for when the item was donated to the collection. So now that we have this information placed here on the scrapbook, we are ready to close it up. Now that we're done preserving and curating the scrapbook from 1958 to 59, we are ready to have it put back in our collection and have it preserved for future generations to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Curator's Corner, and we hope to see you next time. Bye!